Dr. Jeffrey Halstead has been Canandaigua's hometown dentist for more than 35 years, offering routine dental care as well as cosmetic dentistry, implants, and dentures by their highly trained and experienced staff. Visit them online at canandaiguadentistry.com or find them on Facebook and Instagram.
Welcome to FLX Weekly here on Wednesday, January 24th, 2024. I'm Jim Sinacropi, live inside the FingerLakes1.com studios here in Seneca Falls. And do the winter blues got you down? It happens this time of year. There's a lot of great things about winter, but also it's kind of starts to drag when you get January, February, March. Spring is coming, but we still have some time. And Cayuga County is once again inviting residents and visitors to enjoy some guilt-free downtime and escape the day-to-day pressures of work and home. In partnership with local businesses, the Cayuga County Office of Tourism is offering a fresh take on the cozy winter getaway through their annual Hibercation campaign. And we'll have Executive Director of Cayuga County Tourism, Karen Kühl, here to talk all about it. But first, this episode of FLX Weekly is brought to you by Auburn Auto Group. When it comes to selection and service after the sale, Auburn Auto Group has been the premier destination for new and used car buyers for close to 40 years. Among the brands offered on Route 5 in Auburn include Chevrolet, GMC, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Honda, Toyota, and Subaru. Thanks to their wide range of makes and models, you're sure to find your new or used car at Auburn Auto Group. And also, Cafe 19. Breakfast, lunch, pastries, celebratory cakes, pies, and catering guaranteed fresh and always local at Cafe 19 in Seneca Falls. Also offering an assortment of beverages, including tea, coffee, and espresso drinks. Check out their full menus and weekly specials online at xixcafe.com. Well, Karen, welcome to the show. Thanks for coming in.
I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Before we talk about Hibercation and everything, first a little background on yourself. You're a first-generation immigrant from Nicaragua, and now you're here and you're the executive director of the Cayuga County Office of Tourism, with obviously a lot of stuff in between. So give us a little background.
There's obviously a lot of stuff in between. Yes, I am a native of Nicaragua. My parents in Nicaragua own a wonderful vacation destination, and that's how I first got introduced to tourism. At 5 years old, I would see people disconnect from their stressors in life and enjoy some downtime. And that's when I got hooked. Like, this is what I want to do. I didn't know that was tourism. I didn't know that if there was a career involved in there. But I wanted to be part of providing that relaxation, that enjoyment in life. Fast forward many years, I went and got my master's from NYU in destination management, and that helped land my position here at Cayuga County. I've bounced around between Florida, Houston, Texas, Ohio, New York State. My husband's a native of the Finger Lakes area, so we've resided here for over 23 years, I believe. My son's going on 22 years old, so yeah, thereabouts. And I've had a wide range of jobs in the tourism industry. You interview most people in the tourism industry, they say, well, I just kind of landed on it. I was doing this, and then before I knew it, I was working in tourism, where I was very deliberately looking to get as much exposure and experience. In the Finger Lakes region where we ended up, and I found this employment, has so much to offer, and it's so absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, it's definitely an industry here locally that has expanded exponentially in a boom situation, I suppose, over the past decade or so, and that's due to not only the wineries and distilleries and breweries, that industry that's growing, but also just the natural options that are available to people here, and slower pace of life, and also our location. I think centrally located between so many metropolitan areas, where we really are a hidden gem, I think, and so. Now that you're here as director of Cayuga County Tourism, obviously the seasons change a lot here in the Finger Lake. Every season is kind of distinct, and there's different offerings for each season. So now we're in what I think people would consider the slow time in terms of tourism. But that might not necessarily be the case if people look a little closer. There's still a lot to do, and I suppose that's a lot what is behind the Hibercation promotion.
Absolutely. Let me backtrack just 1 second, because yes, so I was born in Nicaragua in the tropics. I grew up between Miami and Houston. I was not aware what winter was like. I was one of those that are winter visitors, like we see many of the visitors that come to the Finger Lakes region, that you truly enjoy the difference between your home and the winter destination. You know, you're all into the snow. The gray doesn't quite bother you because you're here short term.
Yeah.
You're enjoying all the museums, all the great food. But living in it year round, I mean, the four-season change is absolutely marvelous, and I'm very glad that I've had an opportunity to live that. But day after day of the New York gray is challenging. I 100% suffer from cabin fever.
Yep.
I am lucky that our wedding anniversary is in February, so that's always a reason to get out and head down to where there's
My
warm.
birthday's in February, which it used to be a bonus, but now that I'm getting older, it kind of, leans into the whole, winter depression.
It accumulates, right? The
Yeah.
depression is, yeah. So Cayuga County, I think it's our third or fourth year, I believe, we worked with a marketing agency to kind of see, it's like, what can we do during the winter months, which is one of the bigger challenge for our tourism partners, of course, because there's a lot less visitation. And that's where Hibercation was born. And it was, people do staycations, and this concept was already well known. You stay close to your home, but as a visitor and experience it from a different set of eyes. So we kind of played with the staycation concept and the Hibercation, and it is geared, although it is still a tourism marketing to bring people from the outside to enjoy the area, it is specifically crafted for the residents of the Finger Lakes region. We always have a load of laundry sitting in the corner. We have the dishes sitting in the dishwasher. We've got the dog that we have to take out. We've got the kids that want a snack. And this is an opportunity, really a mental health break, to give yourself a break. It's okay to stay in the hotel that's, a mile or two down the road. Just disconnect from the stressors and from the responsibilities and the added pressure of the short days and the gray skies, and treat yourself. This is not a vacation that you will come back needing a vacation from.
That's right,
Sometimes
which
we'll
is the
go
case.
away, we come back, and it's like, oh my gosh, I need a vacation from my vacation. No, this one is meant for you to fulfill yourself. So stay in a nice hotel, go have a nice dinner, or even order in, watch TV, get some popcorn, go to a local brewery just to hang out and without having deadlines or responsibilities to answer to.
Yeah, and it might be, there's so many communities in the area. I mean, for me personally, like Aurora Inn, we went to Aurora Inn for dinner a couple weeks ago. It's not a place that a lot of people think about as much in the winter, but it was just fantastic. They had the fireplaces going, and you explore a place like Aurora or one of the dozens and dozens of small communities in the Finger Lakes like that. To take a staycation is also an opportunity to slow down and explore these places, because a lot of people drive right through them.
Yep.
But if you kind of immerse yourself there for whether it's a day or two or even just a few hours where you're walking around, everything, these places have a lot to offer. So the concept of the Hibercation and the staycation, the winter staycation, but in reality, how would one execute on it? Who are some of the partners? What are some of the things that people can do?
Very simply, Hibercation.com is a website dedicated towards these packages. We have partners including 34 State, Hilton Garden Inn, the FLX Luxury Rental, Starbucks, Cozy Mackenzie House, all of which have crafted a very specific experience for you. Every time you make a reservation under the Hibercation, the tourism office has prepared a basket that you will receive with a couple of nice mugs, some hot chocolate. There is some creams from Otter Point, I believe it's the name of the or for a partner. Some chapstick. Number one thing I say, if I do something in the winter, I need my chapstick.
Right.
So it's just a little gift from the tourism office for you to enjoy your stay. And keeping in mind that we do want to make sure this is a health and wellness incorporated as well. Some of the retail partners are involved in here is the Center, COVID Thrift, Summerhill Brewing, Prison City Brewing actually has a special beer named Hibercation, and you can find it in several retailers around the Finger Lakes. I went to the Wegmans in Canandaigua, and I was looking for some beer, and I looked up, it's like, hey, Hibercation's on the shelf. So that was very neat. So we have some
Good for
partners
them.
that have really created some interesting packages to go with the name.
It's interesting you mentioned Prison City. We didn't go to Prison City. We went to Asteria Salina for dinner this past weekend, and it was really cold this weekend and some snow. I think it was it Saturday night? I think it was Saturday night we went. Maybe it was Friday night. Anyways, it was snowy and cold, and so we parked, a short walk to the restaurant, and you walk by Prison City, and it was just bustling with activity. Looked nice and warm and cozy inside, and then, go to Asteria and have a great dinner. It's a different feel in the winter than summer, and not necessarily one better than the other. It's just different. And I love winter when it's cold and crisp. It's kind of the thaw and the gray that comes after like a nice winter storm that isn't quite as pretty, but
that's when those fireplaces are so inviting.
Yeah. It's something to look forward to. And I've always said, geez, if winter was only, if winter ended on February 1st, well, it might be one of my favorite favorite seasons. It's just the long march towards spring, and then of course once spring hits, spring, summer, fall are all wonderful, and like I say, the beginning of winter. I don't want to say that I don't like winter, and I do feel bad for some of our friends who like to do some of these outdoor activities, especially skiing, that this winter hasn't been particularly conducive to that, but there's still time.
Funny you bring up February, because I tell my husband that February might be the shortest month, but it always feels like the longest month. It's just, is February ever going to end? Because it really drags through. But yeah, the outdoor activities in the winter really rejuvenizing. We got a pair of snowshoes a couple of years ago, and although we don't get to use them as much because, like you said, the snow doesn't stay for as long as we like it to, it really is a wonderful experience. You come back feeling, younger, much colder, but that hot cup of cocoa when you come walk back in and sit next to the fireplace really makes it all worthwhile. And the challenges to the ski areas is real, like you said. Luckily, most of them do have some good snowmaking machinery. Both Bristow and Greek Peak keep excellent trails that people can enjoy for an extended time, but it is a challenge.
Yeah, it is. It is the whole experience of spending the time outdoors in the winter, but then also enjoying the warming back up, like you said, with a cup of hot cocoa or whatever it might be, a glass of wine and a cheese tray by a fire. Those are experiences that you can only get in winter, and it is kind of neat. Where in summer it might be outside around a fire pit, but you can't get that coziness, I suppose, of winter. And I guess that's kind of what you're shooting for with the Hibercation, is to get both the ability to, get outside and get around and get out in the winter, but then also the cozy nature. I mean, I think that's what everybody's kind of shooting for in winter, is to be cozy.
Yes.
And this is offering that option in some places other than, that you're not necessarily accustomed to.
Yep. Get out and explore, get to know something new, and rejuvenate yourself. And I always find winter a great time for conversation. I have 2 kids who are now in college or recently graduated from college, and I found that wintertime, sitting around the table working on a puzzle, opened up a lot of conversations that we probably wouldn't have had otherwise. So it is part of that opportunity, that cozy feel that you can have with your family.
Yeah, that's an interesting angle too. You're kind of forced to sit down and spend some time, whereas the other seasons, especially summer, people are in and out and running all around. You don't have a chance. I guess a lot of times we feel this day and age that it's hustle and bustle, and we all have some place to go and something to do and trying to accomplish it and trying to do these 5 things on our bucket list over the next month, all that type of stuff. But the winter does force you maybe to slow down. There's less expectations, I suppose.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. We always joke as the tourism professionals, we think that the tourism is like our slow season and we get a lot done. Oh, we are so busy.
That's
Because
great.
we spend the time to prepare and strategize for the year. A lot of support to our partners with campaigns like this to get the conversation going and make people realize, yes, you can still go out in the winter, right? You can still go out to a nice restaurant. I had a fabulous dinner last night at Moro's Table in Auburn.
Yeah.
With some partners. Man, the food is so good.
What did you order, just out of
I
curiosity?
had the salmon, and I appreciated that they had half and full versions.
Yes,
Sometimes
right.
you get so full after a wonderful meal. Their creative cocktails are great. I always love to look at their cocktail menu. But it was busy. It was a Tuesday
Busy
evening.
Tuesday in January.
Yeah, in January. But, the setting is nice and calm and inviting. So it is, to remember, there's lots of places.
Yeah, the sushi at Moro's Table is great too if you like sushi. I always usually start with the sushi at Moro's. And then they also have opened a second location in Skinny Atlas, in case you don't know, Moro's Kitchen. So Moro's Table Auburn, Moro's Kitchen, and Skinny Atlas are very similar and both great. So Hibercation.com is where you want to go if you want to learn more about this or look at some of the options for activities and things to do. How about so how long have you been the executive director of tourism at Cayuga County?
5 years this past December.
Okay. Have you seen any changes over those 5 years in terms of like growth or more businesses catering to tourists?
Well, a big chunk of those 5 years was COVID.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So, but COVID was a very interesting time. People thought it was going to be a lot more in the tourism industry. Of course, a lot of places shut down. A lot of businesses basically became almost forbidden to do, right? We could not get together and gather and do the whole feeling. But it was also an interesting opportunity for the Finger Lakes in general to be discovered. A lot of people from the metropolitan areas that you mentioned at the very beginning, Boston, Philadelphia, New York City, D.C., they saw the Finger Lakes areas like, wow, there's this wonderful place here. They couldn't go internationally, but a lot of the assets that they could get internationally, they found here.
Yeah, and they can make the drive too.
Yeah.
They didn't have to go to an airport.
Aurora, it's a top quality luxury destination that people who are interested in going to Paris and Rome and Berlin, they're like, holy crow, there's this place right here. So it was a wonderful opportunity for us to be discovered as a destination. And we saw visitation increase. We had all the open air places for people to visit. All the restaurants were forced to go outside. Geneva opened up, like Linden Street, for open air dining. Canandaigua opened up a whole section. Auburn also closed off part of the road to have outdoor dining. And it became interesting. One of my most fun, silly stories about COVID was that alcohol takeout became a thing. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can go to Rio and Canandaigua and get a margarita to go? What? This is weird. So, and I had a growler of beer delivered to my house. But so it was an interesting, playful time, although it was very scary on one hand. So surviving through that and pivoting, which became the word that everybody used during COVID, was part of a big chunk of my time here. And at the other end, I think it was a whole new perception that our partners did. Cayuga County did a series about reinventing tourism, and we interviewed several of our partners to see what they were doing to reinvent their destination during COVID. We talked to Cayuga State Winery, we talked to the Rep Theater, we talked to the Inns of Aurora, how they were handling the challenges of COVID and how they saw their operations change afterwards. So yeah, there's been quite a bit of change, and not all of it, you expect a lot of challenges. There were a lot of opportunities that came up that businesses realized I never considered doing business this way, that I find beautiful that people were open to that.
Yeah, it was a shift, and it wasn't all negative. It was a challenge for sure, especially for restaurant and bar owners and most tourism-related businesses. But it did kind of change the perspective and created an appreciation, I think. And I think too that during COVID that a lot of people appreciated the opportunity to maybe just come from Syracuse to Cayuga County, or even from Geneva to Aurora or Auburn or vice versa. These smaller trips because you weren't really allowed to go on these traditional type vacations. So a lot of people took day trips when they had the opportunity finally when things started to open up again. And I think it created a mutual appreciation across our region for how great it is here and everything that we have to offer. And I think that you and I must like the same things because I like Rio Tomatlan and Canandaigua as well. So, and it is just one of countless opportunities. So it's tough because I have my favorites for going out to dinner around here, but I always like to try new places too, but there's only so many days in the year.
The Finger Lakes region is 14 counties. I mean, we go from the Pennsylvania border up to Lake Ontario, from Rochester, Letchworth State Park, all the way to Cortland and Syracuse. There is so much to discover right here. We have a couple minutes, a fun little personal story to share.
Okay.
During COVID, people joked that they had COVID babies and they had COVID puppies. My husband and I, we got a COVID bus. We went to just east of Syracuse, I forget the name of the place, and we purchased an old school bus, spent $4,000 in an old school bus, ripped it up, took out the seats, reconverted it into like an RV, and now we have our own little traveling bus.
Like the Partridge Family.
Like the Partridge Family. We painted the outside, refurnished it. We have a compostable toilet. We have running water. We have a refrigerator. And we go around the Finger Lakes region doing harvest hosts. I don't know if you're familiar with that. You're all to stay one night. And so we have explored a lot of the vineyards and the breweries without having to consider, how am I going to get home? We can just, make it to the bus and we're good for the night. And it is a huge area. There is so much for us to explore within our own backyard, and it's diverse. I mean, the offerings are amazing.
Yeah, it's whether it's from, golfing to camping to hiking, to the wineries, breweries, distilleries, the restaurants and the food, and different types of experiences related to food and drink, whether it's a harvest dinner at a particular place or the live music.
Yes.
There's so much live music in the Finger Lakes. And going back to my night last weekend where we went to Osteria Salina next door at the Moondog Cafe, I think it's
Yes,
called.
Moondog,
They
yep.
had live music going on, and it was a great scene in there. As we walked by with our feet crunching in the snow, and everybody was warm, and there was some great music and vibes going on inside
Have
the
you been to
Moondog.
Swabbies?
No.
Oh, you got to go check that one out. If you think we have similar likes, it is a very unique place. Go check it out. I'll leave it at that. You will
where
really
is it?
like it? Swabbies. It's right next to the Phoenix Building, right
Oh, okay.
downtown. Yep.
So just around the corner, kind of.
Yeah.
Okay.
Around the corner. My biggest thing outdoor activities, kayaking. I absolutely love kayaking. With the 11 Finger Lakes, we have so many different options. My husband and I had the challenge last summer to kayak all 11 Finger Lakes in the one summer.
Oh, wow.
So we started out west, and we kind of worked our way back. And then I went and broke my wrist. So we did not finish the last two.
During the kayaking, or was it something
No, I
else?
was biking at the time.
Okay.
Biking's my second favorite thing outdoors. So I didn't finish the two of the lakes. So next summer, I'm already rearing to go and can't wait to go kayaking again. Kayaking the locks in the Erie Canal.
That's what I was going to say, not only the lakes, but you have the canal system, which
It's-
is made for kayaking.
Oh, such an absolutely inspiring, almost scary experience, especially the one right here in Seneca Falls.
Oh, going through the locks, it's
like
scary, yeah.
Huge double lock and a tiny little kayak with the water rushing.
Yeah.
It is an exhilarating experience.
What amazing. It also really is a great example of the elevation differences. So, that's the purpose of the locks, obviously, is that, if you're coming in here and the river's down here, you need to go in the locks and lower the water, and then you go, or vice versa. And, when you're in the lock, it's almost like a science class
Yeah.
or a geography class.
Yes. Yep. And as a kayaker, you have to hold on to the rope on the side, and that's not a very pleasant experience.
No, it seems dangerous, but it's not really.
No,
at
no,
the
it's
end of
not
the day.
dangerous in a
But,
list. I was talking like it's slimy
Yeah.
because, like you said, it's like a biology class in there. It's like really, yeah, interesting.
Maybe bring gloves next time. So, yeah, definitely Hibercation.com. So much to do around here in the winter, and it was really nice getting to talk to you and hear about your background and talk about the things that are going on. And we mentioned a lot of locations and different businesses and destinations and activities, and we probably still didn't even touch on it's just the tip of the iceberg, I'd say. So definitely worth getting out and enjoying things. And if I can real quickly just run through the weekend weather, it's not going to be wintry this weekend. It's going to be one more of those kind of grayish weekends. So even more reason maybe to plan something fun. Friday night, Friday, chance of showers before 11 a.m. Otherwise cloudy with a high of 51. It'll be breezy, but man, that's going to feel balmy at 51 on Friday. And then Saturday, cool down a little bit, cloudy with a high near 42, but overall pleasant day. Light and variable winds becoming south in the morning. And then Sunday, chance of rain increases to 50%, otherwise cloudy, and a high near 37. Also going on this weekend in Watkins Glen is the Fire and Ice Celebration at Watkins Glen Harbor Hotel to benefit the Schuyler Health Foundation. If you want to check that out, that's running Thursday through Saturday. And it looks like it should be pretty good weather for that, although I think they might want it a little colder so they can get the ice part. I think with some of the plans they have, that 51 on Friday might be tough. But anyways, lots to do this weekend, and we hopefully gave you some ideas, and I appreciate you spending the time to talk to us. Hopefully we can have you back. I'd like to maybe do another episode on just the school bus renovation, because that could be a whole episode, I think.
Lots to talk about there.
Well, thanks, Karen. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Once again, that's Hibercation.com, and once you go there, you'll see all the options available to you. You can book right there. There's one last look at that website. Cayuga County Office of Tourism. Karen Kühl, thanks for joining us. And thank you for joining us, everybody. If you enjoyed the show, click like, share, and subscribe. We'll be back next Wednesday. It'll be our first Wine Wednesday of 2024 with Catherine Chase of the Cayuga Lake Wine Trail in studio. I don't know exactly what we have planned, but we will most definitely be tasting some wine here at 11 a.m. on a Wednesday, so you don't want to miss that. So until then, have a great winter weekend here in the Finger Lakes.
FLX